Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be starting the second part of What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Death/Grim Reaper and was neglected. Now, last episode was a little bit confusing. No, it wasn't a little bit confusing. It was confusing. A lot. Very confusing. But hopefully you guys understood that where we left off was where they were on the roof. Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, and Sasuke were talking about themselves to each other. And today's episode, we're going to be doing the test of their teamwork, and to see if, and we're also going to be doing the C rank mission. Now, we won't get too far into the C rank mission / A rank mission, but we will get into it a good amount. So let's start this what if. So we're gonna go back to the rooftop where they were talking about themselves to each other, and Kakashi will report about what Naruto said, obviously, like he did in the last episode, but he will tell them to go to training ground 7 or 13, any training ground, it doesn't really matter. So time skip to tomorrow, where Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto are at the training ground, waiting. Now, Sasuke and Sakura can't sense Naruto, as you can't really sense him. He's literal deaf. It's near impossible to sense him unless you to sense him, or unless you're on par with his strength and his sensing abilities. So they couldn't sense him, but Naruto was in the tree, just sitting, relaxing, and watching. Now, Sasuke and Sakura are annoyed, obviously. Since Sasuke is not emo, he's going to be very annoyed and start yelling like Sakura. And Sakura just starts screaming, "Where is Kakashi? We've been waiting for 3 hours. Again, he's late," Sakura yells. Well, we all know Kakashi. He's on the path of life, always being late, but the reason that is because of Obito. Obito was always late, and that was his best friend, so he's going to, he's trying to remember him. Good morning. Anyways, Kakashi obviously comes late, and Sakura yells, "Where have you been? It's been 3 hours. 3 hours. And where's our other teammate?" And Naruto just jumps out of the tree. And this surprised Kakashi, a lot. He couldn't sense him. And he's a Jonin. And he couldn't sense a Genin. Well, Naruto isn't a Genin level shinobi. Trust me. At this point, he's probably stronger than Sage's Paps, who was on par with the Ten Tails Jinchuriki Kaguya. Not Kabuya. And he's stronger than him, so I don't think there's anybody who could be on par with him except for Jigen and Ishishi. All the people that were on par with Kaguya after she ate the chocolate fruit. But anyways, surprises Kakashi. And then they start yelling at Naruto saying, "You're late." And of course, Naruto just says, "I wasn't late. I've been here the whole time." Which surprises Sasuke. He's like, "How's this dope? How can I sense this dopey? I'm an Uchiha elite, and I couldn't sense this idiot?" Well, Kakashi tells them to start the test. And Naruto, who's confident, he does have the strength to back it up at this point. I would go as far to even say he's stronger than the Omni King from Dragon Ball Super. And that guy is the strongest, obviously. Not omnipotent, but he's the strongest. But anyways, Naruto just stands there like in canon. But he's even more confident, but he's just not showing it on his face. He has a stoic face, that straight face. So people can't read him. Now, Kakashi's who's read Naruto's file back when he was joined the academy, he's known that Naruto is a little bit overconfident and acts like this, like an idiot sometimes. So he underestimates him. Now, he doesn't underestimate him as much as he did in canon because, he beat the supposedly child of prophecy without trying, so he doesn't underestimate him like that much, but he still does, as he's an elite Jonin, and this kid is just a Genin. So he brings out his book, but he is still paying attention to Naruto. Like, he's paying attention to the book, but Naruto mostly. Which annoys Sasuke. So, then Naruto and Kakashi start fighting. But Naruto is keeping up with Kakashi easily. And he's seizing him just like he did to Memma in the last episode. Which is annoying Kakashi. So he puts away his book. And he thinks to himself, well, I shouldn't underestimate this kid too much. So he puts away his book, and he starts fighting him in taijutsu battle. Now, Naruto was trained by the Grim Reaper, who doesn't really taijutsu fight. He doesn't really fight much. And if he is fighting, it's not physically most of the time, so. But the Grim Reaper still was trained in taijutsu, or melee fighting. To the point where he is at, the Grim Reaper is even better than my guy, taijutsu. And he's taught Naruto, so. Naruto is Lee's level of taijutsu, 5th gate Lee in his base taijutsu. Which is impressive to Kakashi. So he brings out his Sharingan, which angers Sasuke even more since, he's even more egotistical since his clan wasn't wiped out. This angers him. And he's like, how does a lowly non-Uchiha have my dojutsu? And how does he have it fully matured? And Sasuke gets mad. But he doesn't leave his spot because he's still a Genin. He's not stupid. He's just mad. And this doesn't surprise Naruto. And Naruto's like, wow, you finally brought out that Sharingan of yours. Which surprises Kakashi. Because he's like, and Kakashi says, how did you know I had a Sharingan? Naruto says, well, I saw it in the bingo book. Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja, who has copied over 1,000 jutsus, or the holder of the Sharingan. Which, surprises Kakashi a little bit. Well, then they get into a taijutsu battle again, but they also start using some ninjutsu. Well, Kakashi. Naruto doesn't use ninjutsu. He's not underestimating Kakashi. He just knows he's stronger than him. And Naruto actually has a power, which I'm just making up, but he has the power to negate fire jutsus. No, he has the power to negate all jutsus, even S-class jutsus. And you will see in the next episode some more of his powers. He's gonna have a lot. Well, anyways, Kakashi does some hand signs and yells, fire style, great fireball jutsu. Naruto just negates it with a slap. He just backhands it and it negates. It just disappears, which surprises Kakashi, but he continues to do ninjutsu. And then he yells water style, water bullet. And as it's speeding towards Naruto just dodges it. And it blasts and explodes a tree that was right behind him. And it surprises Kakashi. He's just so surprised that how did he dodge that jutsu? Most Genins wouldn't be able to see that, he thinks. So he gets into hand-to-hand combat again which was a big mistake on Kakashi's part. Because Naruto increases his speed to Jonin level, which, you know, he's just getting surprised left to right. He just stopped getting surprised at this point. Naruto just has so many tricks up his sleeve, he's just not surprised anymore. So, obviously, Kakashi increases his speed. Now, they get into a vicious taijutsu battle, destroying trees and making some random ninjutsu here and there. Naruto does use a little bit of ninjutsu, but he doesn't have as much chakra as Kakashi, so he can't use that much. He has more mana than chakra, so he does use some ninjutsu like some mud wall and some mud bullet and some other ninjutsus. You know, just they're not that high levels of ninjutsu. This doesn't surprise Kakashi at all. And he starts to underestimate Naruto again, which was another mistake he has made. And Naruto takes this chance of Kakashi being calm and not paying attention to him. And he strikes him with a chop to the back of the neck, knocking him out, which just surprises Sakura and Sasuke. Everybody's just getting surprised all around, man. And he's like, how? He's a Jonin. Even I and the Uchiha Elite wouldn't be able to knock him out. Even Itachi would have a hard time to knock him out. Well, he thinks that Itachi would. And they get mad. Naruto takes the bells, wakes up Kakashi, and tells him that he's won. And then he just throws the bells away and tells him that the test was about teamwork. And since my teammates didn't help me, they don't deserve the bells. And he takes the bells for himself. Actually, he just takes one and melts the other one, which angers Sakura and Sasuke, and angers Kakashi a little bit. So, he passes them all as he would have, even if Naruto were to fail, he still would have passed them, because Sasuke's on the team. So, he passes them. And they start doing D-rank missions as in canon. They do go a little bit faster with Naruto's help, but they still get angry. Naruto personally doesn't care, but he's a little bit mad because he wants a bigger challenge instead of catching stupid cats and planting seeds and stuff. He wants a bigger challenge. And Sasuke, the egotistical Uchiha, runs into the Hokage's office and demands a C-rank mission, which surprises Minato and his guards. Well, Minato's not surprised. He knows how egotistical Sasuke is. So, one of the guards tells Sasuke, watch your mouth. Know your place when you're in front of the 4th Hokage. And Minato just tells him to shut up. At least the demon Naruto knows his place. Which doesn't anger Naruto at all. He really doesn't care. He knows these guys are weaklings and they can't even do anything to him. So the least he can do is let them call him names. So Tazuna then walks in. Tazuna then walks in. And Minato then tells them that your C-rank mission is to guard Tazuna, the bridge builder, and to escort him to his village so he can build a bridge. And then when the bridge is done being built, come back to the village and you shall get your pay. And then he glares at Naruto thinking, this guy won't last a second. Naruto glares back at him, and then Minato kind of pities himself. And he starts to think to himself, how does he have this killing intent? How? And they just start, and then Tazuna, actually, is about to roast them. He's about to roast Naruto. Naruto glares at him, leaks like 1/1000th of his killer intent at Tazuna, and he also pees his pants a little bit, and he just roasts Sakura as she's the weakest on the team. So they start escorting him to his village, and as in canon, the two devil brothers, or demon brothers, my bad, attack them. Kakashi, as in canon, substitutes into a log, shocking Sasuke and Sakura. As Sasuke didn't train as hard as he did in canon, he'll be even more shocked and more scared. But since he's an Uchiha elite, he'll think he can take on the demon brothers. Well, Naruto just speeds ahead of him and slices their heads off before they can even get a word out, before they can even use their chains on him. He slices their heads off, and he actually has the ability to reanimate people. Now, I may make a list, but since I don't have subscribers enough to make a community post, I may have to just make a video of a list of his powers, which will take, he's gonna have a lot of powers that will be associated to death, obviously. But anyways, he slices their heads off and then reanimates their heads, which scares everybody. They're not shocked, they're scared. They're scared on how he's so fast to easily decapitate Chunin level, well, only Kakashi knows their Chunin level ninjas. He's so scared that, and then he can just reanimate them, which just scares them even further. But Kakashi doesn't show it on his face. Only Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna do. And this show makes Kakashi mad at Tazuna for lying about the rank of the mission, as he knows that the demon brothers are Chunin level ninja. So he yells at Tazuna, and Tazuna gets all sad and stuff and says sorry for lying. And then the demon brothers start to talk, as Naruto just reanimate their heads. And they start spilling all the secrets on how they work for Gato, and that they were assigned to kill the bridge builder, and that they were going to get paid for it. They didn't tell them about I forgot his name for a second. They didn't tell them about Zabuza, and they didn't know about Haku, so they didn't tell them that. So, since Kakashi knows how capable Naruto is, but he secretly wants him to die, so he continues on to the mission, hoping that he will die in this mission, as it's now like a B rank mission, since they're Chunins. So they then are going to the village, going to Tatsuna's house, but as they are in the forest, Zabuza attacks, but before he attacks, Naruto sees a white rabbit, which, confuses him a little bit, as it's not winter, it's literally spring or summer. So why is there a white rabbit? So he doesn't care if anybody dies except for Tazuna, so he tells them to duck, as he doesn't want to fail his first mission. And as a canon, Zabuza just appears on his sword that's stuck in the tree, and he takes it out. And he starts attacking Kakashi, who brings up his Sharingan, because Kakashi is an idiot, and he didn't train. He underestimates his enemies, and he did not train, so he keeps on having to rely on the Sharingan. And he gets stuck in the water prison jutsu again. But the plan, like in canon, won't happen, since Naruto and Sasuke don't have that chemistry. They don't care for each other, because Naruto is not the reincarnation of, I forgot his name, but he was the Sage's six-pack son. And neither is Sasuke, someone else is. So, they don't have that chemistry. So Naruto just charges towards the clones that Zabuza made, the water clones, and he just obliterates them with a weird fireball that wasn't made out of chakra, because Kakashi had his Sharingan out. He didn't see Naruto use any chakra. He didn't see him use any hand signs, so he couldn't copy it. which just confuses everybody, as he just made a random fireball out of nothing. And then it just disintegrates. Well, not really disintegrates. It obliterates the water clones and turns them into steam. Which kind of helps Zabuza out, but it doesn't really matter. Naruto just charges to Zabuza in tuning speed, as he doesn't want to reveal his full power yet. He charges to him in tuning speed, which surprises Zabuza, because he thought he was just like Genin. How is he so fast? And how is he so strong? How did he make that fireball jutsu without any hand signs? So he lets go of the prison, and Naruto just punches near him. He lets go so he doesn't get his arm ripped off, and the shockwave from Naruto's punch that just missed Zabuza pushes him and Kakashi freaking meters away from each other, like 20 meters away, which just shocks everybody, and it scares Zabuza. And then Kakashi just attacks him with a fire dragon and hurts him a lot, and Zabuza just runs away, but not before the Haku comes and throws Senbon at him, and then he captures him and says, "I'm a Nambu for the Mist Village that he's from, and I've come to capture him." And Naruto knows that Zabuza's not dead, as he can sense if people are dead or not. He can also take people's life force away, so he doesn't have to physically attack them. You know, he can just absorb your life force. But that really won't work on immortal people, but he'll still be able to find a way to kill someone who's immortal. But anyways, he knows that Haku's lying. He even knows Haku's name, and he knows when he's going to die. There's no ship, so Haku's a he. He knows when he's going to die. So, but he doesn't care. He just lets him go. Now, that scene in the forest where Haku's like says, "I'm a boy," and he's gathering herbs for Zabuza doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't happen as it does in canon. Most stuff is not going to happen as it does in canon. Naruto's not surprised that he's a boy, which, you know, shocks Haku a little bit, but he doesn't really show it on his face. And Naruto says to Haku as he's walking away, "So, are those herbs for Zabuza? I hope he's going to be fine. I'm going to have a challenge to fight him. You know, heard he's strong." Which just scares Haku, and she runs away. She shuns away. And then Naruto just starts laughing in his head. Now, time skip to Tazuna's house. A day before the bridge fight, Tazuna and everybody are just eating, and his grandson, Izuna, I don't know his name, I'm just gonna say Tazuna's grandson, comes up and he gives his little speech like he does in canon. "You guys don't know pain. You guys will never be able to defeat Gato. You're too weak." And Naruto just punches him in his face, and he says, "Well, does that prove that I'm strong enough to beat him?" And this, shocks everybody. And then he tells Tazuna's grandson that he will train him if he just shuts up and stop saying that and stop doubting people. And Tazuna's grandson accepts the training. Now, Tazuna's grandson, after the day, he's going to be training super hard. Now, as you guys know from the last episode, Naruto can pause time. So he paused time for 20 years. And Tazuna's son didn't even realize, because, I don't know, he's kind of dumb. He didn't realize that time was paused. So he was training for 20 years with Naruto. And now he's so strong that he's near Hokage level. He's near Tsunade Kage level. So he's not that strong, but he's strong. And he tells his grandfather about the training, which surprises Tazuna, as time didn't even move. It was a second. And Tazuna's grandson shows off his moves and stuff, but Then we're going to time skip to tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, to the next day, which is tomorrow. I'm kind of dumb. We're going to time skip to the next day, the day of the bridge fight. Now, Naruto oversleeps because he is training in his mindscape with the Grim Reaper itself, you know, and he's talking to Kurama's soul. Now, Kakashi did request backup, but he did it because he kind of underestimated Naruto, so he requested backup. But that was before he saw him fight Zabuza. But now his brother and sister are here. And they've been trying to fight him and stuff. They keep requesting battles. Like, every hour, every second, they're requesting to fight him. And he just ignores them. So they just go to the bridge and he just oversleeps. Because he's in his mindscape. Now he wakes up, sees Tazuna's grandson fighting the two ninja and just clapping their cheeks. No homo. Like, Tazuna's grandson was just whooping them, bro. He was just playing around with them. And Naruto just starts laughing. He's just chuckling in his mind. And then he just teleports. Not Shunshin. Like, Shunshin is like light speed. Teleportation is instant. So he just teleports to the battlefield. Because he can sense chakra, ki, mana. Like, he can sense anything, bro. It'd be so OP. So he sensed their chakra. And he just teleports it. Now, he sees Kakashi fighting Zabuza. And he sees Menma, Sasuke, Mito, inside of the ice prison fighting Haku. Sasuke, my bad. He gets knocked out with the Sinbon. It doesn't, and it angers Menma and Mito because they were his friends. They think he's dead, and they start using the chakra, the tails of the chakra. But Haku was training in the last week because of Naruto. He saw him fighting Zabuza and how he easily beat him with one punch. So he'd been training, so he's able to easily rival Four Tails Naruto now. And I know you're wondering, how did he train so hard? He wasn't even able to rival No Tails Naruto. Well, I don't know. He's just been training for a long time. He's been training a lot. Like, really hard. So he can rival them. And he just keeps on knocking them out and beating them up. And he cut Menma's finger, and that angered Menma even more, to the point where he got his second tail out, and he just drew his finger back. I don't know. And Haku's just slapping them around like they're rag dolls. Naruto is thinking of a way to get the chakra back, but he really doesn't care, as even if he can't get the chakra back, he can just make chakra or mana for Kurama, which will just make him even stronger than the Ten Tails was. Like, if Naruto gave some of his mana, like 1% of his mana, to Kurama, Kurama would be even stronger than the Ten Tails was in the War Arc of Shippuden. So, he doesn't really need his chakra. And they're just getting slapped around. And obviously, Kushina is helping Kakashi out, but Zabuza was training because of what happened to him with Naruto. So he's on par with the with old third Hokage. Like, you know, Hiruzen in his old state when he was fighting what's his name? Orochimaru. He's fighting Orochimaru. He's like near that power. So he's just slapping them around. They're using chakra chains, but he doesn't really care, as he's not using his chakra. He's just using his swordsmanship. And he has knocked out Kakashi with a chop to the neck. And he just was beating him on the ground while he was knocked out to make sure he couldn't get up. And then Kushina just tries to use her chains on him, but it doesn't do anything. He just substitutions and then beats her up with his sword, and they get into a Kenjutsu battle. But since Kushina hasn't trained in Kenjutsu, she's really rusty. And Zabuza is just super good. Like, he's Uzumaki clan good. like top level Kenjutsu. So he's just slapping her around, playing with her, teasing her, cutting her hair, just joking around with her. He's not taking her seriously because he's just way stronger with her right now. He's low Kage level, she's just high Junin, so he's just playing around with his food. And he knocks her out. He's about to kill her, but Naruto comes in and he's like, well, I really don't want you to kill my sensei and my supposedly mom right now. And then he just slices his head off and then reanimates him. But now Zabuza is under his control, and he just reattaches his head to Zabuza's body. So now he's in his army, and they're just, well, there's nothing. Then actually, my bad, they go to fight Haku, and they just slap her around. Him around. My bad. I keep saying her because I just keep saying her. Anyways, they slap him around like he's a rag doll. He kills Naruto, then kills Haku. And Haku, but before he killed Haku was like, can you kill me so I can be reunited with my master? Because he thought Zabuza was dead. He was hallucinating a little bit because of the poison that Naruto injected into him. Because Naruto could just make poison out of nothing. So he was hallucinating, thinking that Zabuza was like fully dead, not reanimated. So Naruto kills him to put him out of his misery. Then he revives him back into his army, reanimates him. And then Gado's like, ha ha ha. Well, thanks for doing my job for me. Now hand over that bridge building and hand over Mito. He doesn't know her name, but he says hand over the two red-headed girls, because Mito has red hair, and the pink-headed girl, so I can have fun with them. And maybe I'll let you live. And this angers Kakashi, who's back from being unconscious, and it angers Sasuke. Well, no, Sasuke's still unconscious. Angers Menma. So then they charge him. But before they can even charge him, Naruto just slices all their heads off, except for Gado. And he shows Gado his army. He's like, is this your army? Because I think they're dead. And this scares Gado. He literally pees and poops his pants, bro. He's like, please, I'll give you money. I'll do anything. Just let me live. And then Naruto just tosses him to the villagers who were there. And they beat him to death. And then they put him on a stick, and then they, like a big stick, like Jesus was on. And then they burn him to death. Well, he was already dead, but they burn his body. And then they go to his hideout, because Naruto told them where the hideout is, and they got all the money from there. And this just angers everybody, because they wanted to be the hero of the village, and it's named the Great Mito Bridge, because Kushina threatened them that they will burn the village to the ground if you didn't name it after Mema and Mito, my children of prophecy. So they did, and Naruto was just like, well, it's okay, it doesn't matter. And Tazunos and the villagers are like, it's alright, you're always the hero in our hearts. And we go back, we time skip a day or two to the Hokage's office. They give the report, and this angers the fourth Hokage, Minato. I forgot his name for a second. This angers him a lot, and he's about to order them to kill his son. But Naruto then walks into the Hokage's office, and he tells them that he knows that you're trying to order my death, and that if you do, that your secrets of the village will all be sent out to all the villages, and then they will destroy this village. So Minato gets scared, and he calls off the hit. And Naruto gets his money, and he's just training in his house that he has in the woods. He just made it out of literally mana. It looks like a small shack on the outside, but it's literally the size of the Leaf Village on the inside. That's That's the strength of his magic. That's how strong he is in magic because of the Grim Reaper. And he's just training in there. He's just watching TV, watching original canon Naruto, and just laughing, having fun. And he's just talking to the Grim Reaper, which he made a clone, and then he I don't know, like, I forgot. You know how in canon where they could like make a clone and then it would look like someone else? I forgot what that's called. That was supposed to be part of the test, but I forgot, so my bad. But yeah, he makes a clone. He's just talking to Grim Reaper, and he's just playing around with him and stuff. And Mito and Kushina, everybody, well, not everybody, but Sasuke, Sakura, Mito, the Fofukage, the Red Death, the two Sanin, and they storm his shack. And no, they don't storm his shack, my bad. Minato actually secretly sends Anbu to kill Naruto because he doesn't care about his threat. He just thinks that he's going to get the secrets of the village, and he's just going to kill Naruto before he can send out the secrets, and then burn the secrets so nobody else can get them. But little does he know that Naruto will just slap these Anbus before they can even get inside of his shack. So Naruto is outside of his shack getting food, and he sees the Anbus running to his shack, his supposed shack. And he doesn't really care, as he has set traps that even Anbu can't sense. And the Anbu are like, we'll get the secrets, and then when he comes back from whatever he's doing, we'll kill him, we'll torture him, and we'll show him that a demon does not deserve to live. That's what the Anbus are thinking. And then the Anbu captain is just laughing, and he's like, yeah, I get to torture him first. Well, too bad for these Anbus, they won't get to torture anybody anymore. Well, they fall into the traps. The 3 of the 4 Anbus die from one of the traps, and this angers the Anbu captain, who's the last survivor of the trap. And the trap was just a random pit that they couldn't sense. It had a genjutsu, such a strong genjutsu, my bad, that was even stronger than the Tsukiyomi, that they couldn't see the trap. And then they got impaled, and then they died. And then their bodies were burned by a fireball that just came out of nowhere. And that's actually another one of Naruto's powers. He can set a timer. I'm just playing with you guys. It's not one of his powers. But he actually did set a timer for a random fire just come out of nowhere and burn them, because there was gasoline in the pit, and it just burned them to death. And this angers the Anbu captain. That's why he's so angry. And he starts running around trying to sense Naruto. Naruto just comes out of nowhere and beats him to the ground. And he's just mollywopping him, and the Anbu is just getting scared. But then he sees Naruto and then punches him. It was actually a clone though. And Naruto just mollywops him again in his neck. And then he's like, well, you know what? I'll stop sneak attacking you. Let's fight in a taijutsu battle. And the Anbu just starts laughing like, is he underestimating me, an Anbu captain? Well, he should have never done that. Well, too bad for the Anbu captain. He's underestimating Naruto, who is way stronger than anybody in this universe. For a matter of fact, he's way stronger than anybody in any universe that can't cheat death, really. So, too bad for him. Naruto just gets into a major taijutsu battle, and he ups his speed to low Kage level, and the Anbu can only up his speed to high Jonin. And this is angering the... Oh, my bad. This is angering the Anbu. He's like, how is he so fast? How is he even faster than me? An Uchiha elite. Yes, the Anbu is an Uchiha. Because since the Anbu was mostly made out of Uchihas because of their Sharingan, most of the Anbus are going to be Uchiha. Now, they're just getting into a major taijutsu battle. And Naruto just playing around with him. He's not even at his full speed, bro. And he's just playing around. and it's angering him even more and more. And the Anbu somehow broke his limits, surprisingly broke his limits, and he upped his speed to low Kage level. And Naruto's just like, maybe he could be somewhat of a challenge. They're just in a taijutsu battle, and Naruto's just dodging everything, and he punched the Anbu so hard once that he destroyed 3,000 trees behind him. No joke. They were in a gigantic forest, and Naruto had a little shack, so there was a bunch of trees, and he shattered 3,000. And you're wondering how the Anbu not dead? Well, the Anbu substitution at the last second, and the Anbu's just so scared. He's trying to run away, and he's gonna tell the Hokage about the failure, but Naruto just teleports right in front of him, and then chops his head off with his hands. Like, he just slices his head off with a chop. No sword, no sharpened nails. He just chopped his head off. And that's it. That was it for the Anbus. The Anbu squad that was sent after him anyways. And the Hokage is scared, and he's wondering, does Naruto know about my plan to execute him? Did he know that I secretly sent Anbus? And he's scared, and he pays him around his office. Well, we'll see in the next episode, next video, what will happen to the 4th Hokage. Because this is the end of this video. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully you liked it, and hopefully you'll subscribe. But really, I'm not forcing you to.